Class recording. Good morning to one and all. Okay, so welcome back to political science class and the session one of the day. Today only one session is there for you, right? Okay, so be ready with your writing material. Okay, you want to write something. The same time, prepare for the preparation for the PT test. Okay, they're going well, right? Any doubts are there? If it is so, please ask me. Okay, come back to the chapter. Hope this screen size is okay for you people. Okay, so last session we discussed about what actually happened at the time of the emergency or during the emergency in 1975. 1975, right? Okay, so you can see basically the government moved forward with a program called the Poor program. Okay, sorry, for proper programs, right? Hope my voice is clear, right? Hello. Okay, fine. So it is called to be basically the 20-point program, right? And I told you yesterday to find out other 15 points. Okay, got or not? Yes. Okay, and submit it. Okay, I'm not checking the messages. Okay, so here you can see there are 5 important points are there. First one is the land reformation, land redistribution, review of agricultural wages, workers' participation in management. Okay, what do you mean by workers' participation in management? Hmm? Maybe cooperative society. Okay, clear or not? Or different companies, workers also want to get some importance, right or not? They also want to be a part of the management, those who governing or administrating that particular industry or agricultural production or cooperative society. So workers also wanted to become a part of that management. Next one, eradication of bonded labor. What do you mean bonded labor? In India we always studied about the vetti system, right? Beggar or vetti, what is that?
People are forced to work for the rich landlords without salary.
Without any payments or not adequate payment, no adequate payment for them. Okay, so government did all these things there and grab the attention of the poor people basically. Okay, and the same time, the activities of Sanjay Gandhi that created a lot of problem for the government. Clear? Okay, what are the activities? First of all, demolition and forced sterilization. So the two activities that done by Sanjay Gandhi that made the people to turn against the Congress government at that time, right? Okay, demolition and the forced sterilization. Okay, clear. So these are the 5 points from the 20-point program. So you have to learn that well. And this question, what actually happened during the period of emergency in the year 1975? It's an important question for the examination. Okay, so want to learn all those things there. Okay, so next one it is the Shah Commission report. So already we know that the new government, the year 1977, you know that Congress party failed. It was defeated by the Janata Party. Janata Party. Okay, so Janata Party appointed a commission. Okay, to study and inquire what really happened at the time of emergency and who are the culprits. Okay, clear or not? Anyway, they are the rival the party, right? Janata Party is the rival party for Congress, so they will do that definitely. In May 1977, the Janata Party government appointed a commission. What do you mean by the term a commission? Maybe you heard the first commission in your life, what the Simon Commission. Heard about that? No? Right? Class 10 you studied that, the Simon Commission. Okay, what is that? Simon Commission, it was appointed by the British government. Okay, British government to study about what? The political and social condition of our country and give suggestion for making a new constitution for our country, right or not? Okay, clear. And Indians treated the commission with the slogan Simon go back or go back Simon, because there is no Indian member in that committee. Clear or not? Basically, they came to study about the Indian situation and to create a constitution for India. Okay, clear or not? But what happened? There is no Indian member in that, so Indians rejected. Okay, and they're not ready to cooperate with that. Okay, anyway, that was the first commission. So it's a group of people headed by a magistrate maybe, okay, in India, okay, a magistrate or a justice, okay, a retired one, to study about the things that happened related with one particular event. Okay, so in May 1977, the Janata Party government appointed a commission of inquiry headed by Justice J.C. Shah, retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India. Clear? Retired Chief Justice. Already you want to know one thing there. There's a clash between judiciary and the government, right or not? Okay. At the same time, now Janata Party appointed a retired Chief Justice to study about the things that what happened in the period of the emergency, to inquire into several aspects of allegations. Okay, what you want to do? You want to inquire several aspects of allegations, the troubles that are created by the government. Allegations, clear or not? Abuse of authority, misuse of power, excesses and malpractices. Okay, bad activities that committed by the government and the things that done by the government against the constitution. Clear? Excesses and malpractices. Committed an action taken in the wake of emergency proclaimed on 25th June 1975. And what are the actions that taken by the government from 25th June 1975 related with that emergency or the declaration of emergency? Clear? Okay, repeating that, in May 1977, the Janata Party, so remember, May 7, 1977, so new government is there. It's not the Congress government. Okay, Janata Party government. Okay, so in the year 1975, in the month of, you can see here, June, okay, the declared emergency, 25th June, the declared emergency. Okay, and after almost 18 months, new government came into power. Okay, and they appointed a commission to study or inquire about these atrocities at the time of emergency. Okay, basically, it is Mr. J.C. Shah, a retired Chief Justice of Supreme Court. Okay, you know that. Okay, who is the Chief Justice? In the judicial system, he is the one top in order, right? The Chief Justice, top in order in the country. Okay, the Supreme Court Chief Justice. He's a retired one. Basically, what he want to do here actually? So he want to inquire into the several aspects of allegations. Clear or not? Okay, next one, abuse of authority, misuse of authority. Okay, excesses and malpractices committed and action taken in the wake of at the time of emergency proclaimed on the 25th June 1975. Okay, why this emergency? You want to inquire about that. The commission examined various kinds of evidence and called sources of witnesses to give testimony. Okay, what do you mean testimony? Testimony. The written or oral statement. Clear or not? Who's a witness? Witness. Eyewitness.
Someone who has seen an event or problem.
A crime, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or a witness means a person is able to give a statement related with that crime or that particular incident. Okay, he or she is called to be a witness, right? Okay, the witness statement, oral or written statement, is termed as a testimony. Clear? Okay, written or oral statement of the witness is termed as a testimony. Okay, write down. Clear? So you can see the commission examined various kinds of evidences, number of evidences they examined, they observed, the commission observed, and call sources of witnesses to give testimony. They call number of people, okay, to give their oral or written statement related with this incident. This included Indira Gandhi, who appeared before the commission but refused to answer any question. Clear? And Shah Commission called Indira Gandhi to give the testimony, okay, clear or not, or the statement related with the things that what she committed or done at the time of the emergency. But she met the commission but not answered any question. Clear or not? Clear or not? Okay, let it be. So just understand all these things there. It's important. The government of India accepted, they included Indira Gandhi, who appeared before the commission but refused to answer any question. The government of India accepted the findings, observations, and recommendations contained in 2 interim reports and 3rd and final report of the Shah Commission. So the new government, the Janata Party government, accepted the findings, observations, and recommendations of Justice Shah. Clear or not? Okay. contained two interim reports. Okay. Interim reports means before submitting the original and the final report, a draft report will be there, right? Okay, that's called be interim reports in the middle. Okay, he submitted that. And thirdly, the final report of the Shah Commission. Okay, the report are also tabled into the two houses of parliament. So present before the two houses of the parliament. Clear? At that time, the year 1977. Okay, so the government of India accepted the findings, observations, and recommendations contained in the two interim reports and the third and final report of the Shah Commission. So they accepted, government accepted. What are the findings? Okay, so we will discuss that. Okay, and the reports are also tabled in front of the two houses of the parliament, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Clear? Okay, so this is important question. Let us talk about the Shah Commission. Okay, so 2 minutes for you people. So the Shah Commission report is an important question for the examination. Okay, the next topic for we people is lessons that learned from emergency. Lessons that learned from emergency. What the emergency taught to the Indian democracy, okay, or Indian politicians. Okay, the emergency had few lessons for us to learn. What are that? Okay, what are those lessons here? First of all, it brought out the weakness and strength of Indian democracy. So the declaration of emergency and the atrocities and all other programs that related with the emergency or declaration of emergency proved one thing. What is that? The strength of Indian democracy and the weaknesses of Indian democracy. Okay, clear? The strength and the weakness. India perhaps ceased to be a democracy during emergency. Normal democratic functioning resumed very soon, and it was proved that no emergency can kill the democratic spirit of India. Okay, at the time of emergency, nearly for 18 months, the people of the country and almost all the political party leaders, I mean the opposition party leaders, business personalities, okay, then what we can say, poor peasants, okay, then the government officials, all these group of people faced different sort of problem, different types of problems there. Clear? Understand? Okay, and if you want to understand one thing, that time number of our fundamental rights were suspended. Clear? Failed to enjoy number of the fundamental rights. Censorship on the newspapers, censored, the news are censored. Okay, the newspapers reacted. Okay, how the newspapers reacted against the censorship in India?
They left blank places in the
They
newspaper.
left blank spaces to indicate that something is there against the government. Clear or not? Something is there, they have to speak to the people, but they can't do so. Okay, like that. Very good. So it brought out the weakness and strength of the Indian democracy. India perhaps ceased to be a democracy during emergency. Okay, normal democratic functions are assumed very soon. Okay, so at the time of emergency, we faced a lot of problem. Our fundamental rights were dismissed or suspended. At the same time, within short time, we observed that we resumed what? The democratic principles. Okay, again, the country went back to the democratic spirit. Okay, so the emergency taught to the world that emergency this kind of activities are unable to kill the spirit of Indian democracy, okay, or the democratic spirit of India. Second one, it brought out the ambiguities related to the emergency provisions of the constitution. Internal emergency can now be proclaimed onto the grounds of armed rebellion, and any such advice to the president must be written from the council of ministers. Clear? So problems are related with the emergency. We discussed one thing there. Okay, emergency just declared before the 25th of June. Okay, so 25th June, JP is waiting in the Ramlila Maidan to start the protest movement against the government. Clear or not? So without the consent of the the council of ministers or the cabinet ministers, she met the president, clear, and declared emergency, clear. But after the failure of Congress Party in the year 1977, okay, the new government, they made a change in the constitution. What is that? Okay, internal emergency can now be proclaimed only on the grounds of armed rebellion, and any such advice to the president must be written from the Council of Ministers, not the Prime Minister, right? Okay, Council of Minister, that is the Prime Minister anyway, the Cabinet Ministry, but the consent of other ministers also necessary, it seems there, right? Okay, one government cannot declare emergency, okay, or the emergency can be declared on the grounds. What kind of situation is necessary here? An armed rebellion in the country. What do you mean armed rebellion? Armed rebellion. What is that? Armed rebellion
When
means?
people begin to start dangerous weapons.
Definitely.
Use.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very good. Okay. So it's a civil war. Groups of people or one group of the people, they will turn against the government, or groups of people themselves, they will fight in the country. Okay. With weapons. Clear or not? Okay. Such kind of rebellions are termed as what? Armed revolutions or armed rebellions there. At that time, government can declare emergency. Clear. But in the case of JP and his program, not related with any armed rebellion, right? Okay. JP is a person, basically, he give importance for what? Non-violence. Understanding or not? Okay. So they made a rule like that. Okay, second point is important. Thirdly, it made everyone aware of the importance of the civil liberties. Courts also took an active role in restoring and protecting civil liberties of people. Okay, and the emergency taught the people that the importance of civil liberties. Civil liberties. Okay, the last year we studied about the liberties there, right? Number of liberties are there for we people, right? Okay, in a democracy, each and every individual is free to enjoy such kind of freedoms there. Okay, clear or not? Yes or no? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Okay. So it made everyone aware of the importance of civil liberties. Okay, and the courts also took an active role in resorting and protecting civil liberties of people, protecting the civil liberties of the people. Okay, so we know that there are a number of writs are there to protect the civil liberties of the people, right? Hmm? You know what are the writs? Last year we studied that. What are the writs? Some rights are for the people. Some writs are there. An idea?
Habeas corpus.
Very good. Yeah, habeas corpus. Everyone knows that, right? What about others? Hmm? Habeas corpus, mandamus,
Mandamus.
certiorari, prohibition, quo warranto. Okay, clear or not? These are the basically these are the writs there. Some of the writs are basically helpful for the people to enjoy their liberty or enjoy their freedom. Okay, and their rights. Okay, clear. What are they? Habeas corpus, certiorari, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto. Last year studied, but don't know. This is claimed as disposable knowledge. Okay, what is that? Disposable. Myself, I studied that in class 11. Okay, but still remembering that because because I studied that. That's why. Okay, let it be. So just remember all these things there. Okay, come back. So here you can see the most valuable lesson we learned from emergency is that governments which are perceived to be anti-democratic and severely punished by the voters. Another lesson. Okay, if any government is turned to anti-democratic or against democracy, okay, the government doing something against the democracy or creating any problem for the democratic concepts or spirit of democracy, definitely who will punish them? The voters will punish them. Definitely they will. Okay, that's what the Congress government faced. Okay, in the 1977 election. Okay, finally, lastly, we have learned another lesson from emergency that governments which are unstable are quarrelsome or punished by voters. Clear? Another one lesson. If you governments which are unstable, not stable at all, okay, they are unable to govern or administer, and quarrelsome. The people or the ministers or the parties within the government, they are fighting to each other. Conflicts are there in the government. Okay, that people also will get, or that kind of government also will get a punishment from the people or from the voters. Clear? The last lesson. Okay. Lastly, we have learned another lesson from the emergency, that governments which are unstable and quarrelsome, okay, or basically they are also will get punished by the voters. Okay, quarrelsome will punish. Okay, by the voters. Okay, come on. Now we can write this one. Lessons learned from emergency. Another important question. So far we discussed about Shah Commission inquiry reports and lessons that learned from emergency. Okay, two different important questions for the examination, board examination. So please learn this properly. Clear or not? Learn properly in the sense up to this class today itself, read it, and at the same time go along with the syllabus for part PT test 2. Okay, remember, read the textbook. You want any assistance, you can ask. Okay, only textbook. Told you years are important. Names of the individuals, leaders are important. Programs are important. Clear? Incidents are important. So make a list of all these things there. There is no shortcuts. Clear? No shortcuts at all. You have to work hard. Okay, or else you'll face, what is that? Face a defeat, definitely speaking so. Okay, so what we want to do? Make a list of the years and events. Clear? Along with the month, date, and everything should be there. Right? Want to learn that? It is an MCQ test. So confusion will be there. Clear? So don't think that the list that you prepared, you are able to use that for the examination. Okay, clear? Keeping that beside you and checking that and writing the answer. Not like that basically. Okay, prepare a list of these things there. Clear? So I give a suggestion for you people. Okay, the best way to write the examination. Okay, no, don't do like that. So please prepare and learn it. Clear? Okay, so come back to the next topic. Elections and formation of Janata Party in the year 1977. 1977. Okay. After 18 months of emergency, the government decided to hold elections in the year 1977. Okay. So Indira Gandhi believed that pro-poor programs might helpful to win the majority in the 1977 elections. Clear or not? Okay, so she declared election earlier than, so it's not completed the tenure. Before that, she ordered, or she, what you can say, give the suggestion to conduct the election in the year 1977. Okay, the 1977 elections, after emergency, decisive as opposition parties fought on the slogan, "Save Democracy." Okay, so all opposition parties together, they decided, we will use a slogan for this election. What is that? What is that? Save democracy. I already told you that different political parties will use different slogans for the elections there. Right. I already told, right? So last Legislative Council Assembly for Kerala, UDF, LDF, and NDA. Can anyone tell me what are the slogans? And I told you. What is that? What are those slogans? UDF. Naadu Nannakan UDF. Okay. LDF. തുടർ ഭരണത്തിന് ഒരു വോട്ട്. തുടർ ഭരണത്തിന് ഒരു വോട്ട്. NDA. പുതിയ കേരളം മോദിക്കൊപ്പം. Okay. Ever observe these things there? No, that's okay. For understand these things, a particular thing is there called a newspaper. Okay, you want to read that, or else at least you want to watch a television news channels. Okay, Amal Raj, any idea about these things? Naadu Nannakan Kerala. Sorry, Naadu Nannakan UDF, not Kerala. Naadu Nannakan UDF. Okay, തുടർ ഭരണത്തിന് വോട്ട്, പുതിയ കേരളം മോദിക്കൊപ്പം. So these are the slogans. So at that time, Janata Party used this slogan. What is that? Save democracy. And we know that in 1971 election, Indira Gandhi used a slogan. What is that? What is that? Or what was that?
Garibi Hatao.
Very good. Garibi Hatao. Garibi Hatao means, what is that? It is like almost an edible item there, right? Don't go to bakery. Okay, I will go to bakery and ask 2 plates of Garibi Hatao. Okay, so what is the meaning of this term?
Remove poverty.
Remove poverty. Okay, eradicate poverty. Okay, so we will discuss balance things in the next session there. So prepare well for the examination and at the same time read all those things there. Okay, if any assistance required, so please call me. Okay, guys, thank you.